Hello everyone and welcome to the TheHackedBlock. On this channel I will mainly upload Scratch content and especially Scratch tutorials. So if you're interested, feel free to subscribe as it would mean a lot to me. In this video I'm going to show you how to make an easy platformer game in Scratch. The first thing we are going to do is delete the Scratch cat and make a new sprite. Let's call it the player. I'm going to zoom right in, and for this tutorial I'm going to make him a square. Remember, by holding down the shift key while dragging you can make the perfect shape. So make sure it snaps in the middle of the canvas, and now we're going to make another sprite. Let's call it the level, and this is basically going to be our level. So let's paint a nice looking level. And now we can begin to code. So for the level sprite, when green flag clicked, we're going to set it to x, y, both 0. And now let's begin coding the player. So for the player, we're going to need 3 new variables. Let's delete the my variable and make 3 new variables called x speed for all sprites, y speed for all sprites, and on air for all sprites. So when the green flag is clicked, we're going to set them on 0. And we're going to make the player so when the green flag is clicked, he goes to the coordinates we want him to go. So for example, let's make him so he goes to these coordinates. Nice, it works. And now we can make our forever loop. We can make it so forever he changes the y by -10, for example. Not, and as we can see, doesn't he does not have a gravity. So we're going to fix that by just changing the y speed by -1. So the y speed keeps um changing by -1, and we can change the y by the y speed. So as we can see, our player now has gravity. The next thing we're going to add is obviously the collision. So from the control, if touching the level, then we can change y by y speed times -1. So basically when you multiply a value but with -1, it gives us the absolute value of the value. And then we're gonna set the y speed to 0, and we're gonna set the on air to false. So let's run the project, and as we can see, our player now stops every time he touches the level. Nice. The next thing we're going to add is the player having the ability to jump. So we're gonna get another if then thing, and we're gonna select the end equals, and now if key up arrow pressed. Oh my god, what did I do? So now if our key up arrow pressed and the variable on air equals false, so that means that our player isn't on air and he's touching basically the level. Then we're gonna set our Y speed to 10 and we're gonna set on air to true. We can run the project, and as we can see, when we press the up arrow, our player can jump. So when he is on air, the on air variable says true because he isn't touching the ground. And when he is touching the ground, it's obviously false. So now it's time to add the horizontal movement. So if key left arrow pressed, we're gonna change our X speed by -1, and when the right arrow key is pressed, we're gonna change the X speed by 1. Now if we run the project, as you can see, nothing happens when we press the left and the right arrow, because we haven't added yet the change X by. So we are gonna bring in a when green flag clicked forever, change X by X speed, and then set our X speed to X speed multiplied by 0.9. And what this does is basically it moves our player left and right. As you can see, it's pretty clear. Now, one thing we're missing is that if I run into a wall, look what happens. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So we're gonna fix it right now. For this, we're gonna need 2 blocks. The first one is going to be the left collision. Now make sure that it's run without screen refresh, and another one called right collision, run without screen refresh. Okay, now we can make them detect if our player is touching a wall. So we're gonna bring in a when green flag clicked forever, if then else, and if touching the level and the Y speed, the X speed is greater than 0, then we're gonna set the X speed to 0 and we're gonna detect our right collision, else if touching the level and our X speed is lower than 0, then we're gonna set the X speed to 0 and we're gonna detect the left collision. So now we can begin to code our left and right collision. So when we define our right collision, we're gonna repeat until not touching level. change x by -1 and obviously set our x speed to 0, and the same goes for the left collision, except we're gonna change the x by +1. By giving it a try, we can see that we managed to make a great platformer. So if we want our player to have the ability to jump higher that, than that here, we can just go to our if key up arrow pressed and set our Y speed to a higher value, let's say for example 15, and as you can see our player now jumps way higher. So this is going to be it for today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below. And until the next video, bye.